Welcome to the Nevis Newscast. Today is Monday, 18th September 2017. I'm Fredicia Liebert. As of 11 a.m. this morning, Monday, 18th September, Hurricane Maria gained strength to become a Category 3 hurricane, and as such, a hurricane warning is in effect for St. Kitts and Nevis. Premier of Nevis and Minister responsible for the Nevis Disaster Management Department, the Honorable Vance Amory, met with the Director of the Department, Brian Dyer, and the various sector heads in the Nevis Island administration earlier today, and was briefed on the status of Nevis with regards to the safety and security during the passing of Hurricane Maria.
I've been assured by them that the sectors have made the necessary precautionary measures and that we are ready to face the storm. However, may I caution that we never know how a storm will behave. Within a few hours, it could change, it could intensify, it could change direction, and therefore we are all required as individuals, even as the government has done, to take the necessary precautions to protect our property, to protect our lives, to protect our belongings.
Premier Amory also urged residents to stay indoors until the all-clear is given from the relevant officials.
And the police were very concerned that some people seem to want to dare and to go out in the storm at all hours when the storm has not yet been declared as past. May I encourage every one of you that you take responsibility for your own safety. There's only so much that the government can do, and we have done our part.
The minister responsible for natural disaster also listed the various hurricane shelters around the island.
Anyone knowing of any neighbor who needs special treatment, maybe someone who is disabled, someone who is older, elderly, and lives alone, if you know they need special assistance, please call the Disaster Preparedness Office, 668-6401, so that we can get assistance to those persons to move them before the storm begins. In addition to that, we have 10 shelters which have been opened, and I will try to name them. We have the St. Paul's Anglican Church. We have in the Brownhill area the Maisie Bartlett Center. We have the St. John's, the Pondell Center. We have Hanley's Road. We have the Hartime Center. We have in the St. James area the Franklin Brown and one at Butler's. All of these centers will be open in addition to the 3 centers in the St. Thomas's area, that is the Cottonwood Community Center, the Jessop's Community Center, and the Barnes Community Centers. All those will be open effective 4 o'clock this afternoon.
Premier Amory also urged those with special dietary needs to bring those items with them to the shelters. He also encouraged persons to take all the necessary items, including blankets and water, as the shelter supplies may be limited. The Premier then made an appeal to persons living in vulnerable areas, including Low Street, to seek refuge elsewhere.
We have been advised that some people are reluctant to move. Now, if you are asked to move, please do so. I myself will go to the Low Street area before I go home to make my own preparations, to encourage people to leave, because we are expecting to have storm surge of some 13 feet or more, which can break over the breakwater which we have there and could cause damage and could cause harm to those who do not move. I would want to ask us all individually and collectively to pray for God's protection. And above all, as I said to the group this morning, we can pray, but we can also prepare. And if we prepare, it can make the difference between serious damage, serious loss of property, rather than if we do not prepare.
Premier of Nevis and Minister with responsibility for the Nevis Disaster Management Department, the Honorable Vance Amory. President of the Federal Republic of Germany, His Excellency Frank-Walter Steinmeier, has conveyed his sincere congratulations and those of the people of Germany to the government and people of St. Kitts and Nevis in recognition of the Federation's 34th year of independence. In a congratulatory letter sent to the Governor General, His Excellency Sir Tapley Seaton, President Steinmeier wrote, "I am delighted that we have been able to assist your country's National Archive with the digitization of documents this year, thus making historic documents of your country accessible to a broad general public. I am confident that our good relations and our cooperation will continue to grow deeper in the years ahead, including at the international level. Please accept my best wishes for a peaceful and happy future for yourself and your fellow citizens." St. Kitts and Nevis officially opened its honorary consul office in Germany in 2009, and the 34th Independence Anniversary celebrations is being observed under the theme Youth, Vision, Integrity, Securing Our Nation's Prosperity. Still to come, SKN to accommodate students of storm-affected countries who are registered to sit CXC exams. The details when we return.
Uwali, the queen of the Caribbean, bathed by its crystal shores, is the Caribbean's best-kept secret. Nevis is known for its rich culture, which remains entrenched in the island's everyday life. We boast of having the Caribbean's greatest summer festival, Culturama. The birthplace of Alexander Hamilton, my little 36 square mile island, is the home of the Bath Hotel, which is the first built hotel in the Caribbean. Don't forget to take a dip in the therapeutic Bath Springs. Take a few minutes to trot down to the ever-famous Sunshine's Bar and drink a world-renowned Killer Bee. Live Nevis naturally by exploring the magnificent waterfalls and hiking to the top of our 32 Nevis Peak. Our lush vegetation and landscape deems a visit here the perfect escape. Nevis, Queen of the Caribbean.
Welcome back. The Ministry of Health in St. Kitts and Nevis has reported that there has been no outbreak of any vector-borne diseases, which some locals feared may have occurred following the passage of Hurricane Irma last week. Minister of State for Health Honorable Wendy Phipps confirmed this on Thursday during a press conference by Prime Minister Dr. the Honorable Timothy Harris. She noted that while the expected rainfall from the tropical cyclone was below the predicted levels, the Ministry of Health is continuing its normal activities of monitoring ports of entries for individuals who may be carrying live viruses such as dengue fever, chikungunya, and others. The senior health official reiterated that one of the most effective means of mosquito control lies within the power of every resident. We advocate for our people to make sure that we do not have stagnant water sitting around where mosquitoes can breed, Minister Phipps stated. The mosquitoes, are very easy to propagate on their own, but it is for us to take our own individual actions that prevent these types of vector illnesses. Persons were encouraged to follow the tips to prevent the growth of the mosquito population being shared via public service announcements on radio and television. Secondary school students living in islands that were severely affected by the passage of Category 5 Hurricane Irma and who are registered to sit the Caribbean Examination Council CXC exams are being offered accommodation to continue their studies in St. Kitts and Nevis on a temporary basis. This is part of a broad-based approach unveiled by the government of St. Kitts and Nevis in response to the needs of those affected countries as they seek to rebuild and return to a state of normalcy. Prime Minister the Honorable Dr. Timothy Harris was part of an Organization of Eastern Caribbean States (OECS) Monetary Council delegation that visited the storm-affected islands of Anguilla on Wednesday, September 13th, where he met with over 100 St. Kitts and Nevis nationals living in there and identified focal points of assistance. One area of concern identified during the consultation was the consideration for students of those affected countries, particularly those who are registered to sit CXC exams. As a result, Dr. Harris announced that accommodations are being made for displaced students in Anguilla, St. Martin, and the British Virgin Islands who are registered for upcoming CXC exams. Speaking during a press conference last week, Thursday, Prime Minister Harris said, "These persons will be offered free enrollment in our schools until their own high schools are ready to accommodate them. We have prioritized those who are about to write CXC exam because the only high school in Anguilla has been significantly damaged, maybe 90% of it. The government of Anguilla has said that they would be ready for October." In addition, the government has made its hospitals available to residents of neighboring islands should the need for health services be required. St. Kitts and Nevis has also offered the Robert L. Bradshaw International Airport as a staging platform for relief efforts to St. Bart's, St. Eustatius, French St. Martin, Saba, and Dutch St. Martin, and has also provided diplomatic clearance for foreign vessels that could not safely get into the waters of French St. Martin. Prime Minister Harris also revealed that the St. Kitts and Nevis government has provided entry to 251 persons who were processed at the seaports. All passengers were processed by immigration officers, customs and excise officers. Health officials were on hand, including veterinary officers, and officers of the canine units were also on hand. Dr. Harris further stated that the government of St. Kitts and Nevis is prepared to assist in the restoration of electricity supply to Anguilla and to any other island that requests such assistance. That's it for this edition of the Nevis Newscast. On behalf of all of us here at the Department of Information, I'm Fredicia Liebert. Thank you for viewing.